Hey man, I'm seriously afraid I might be losing it. I've stopped taking my medication and been talking to myself ever since. But check this out. They say that sooner or later every grave goes unvisited, or something along those lines. The same seems true for YouTube, Rumble, and all the other content graveyards, scattered across the vastness of the internet. So just pretend for a second every thumbnail was a tombstone and every comment section a funeral. A requiem for, I don't know, I'd like to say for a dream, but that sounds trite and pretentious. Still, there's a dreamlike quality to what seems like an expression of the collective unconscious, turned into an electrical glow, radiating the minds of the inflicted. So imagine me in my tidy whities, partially illuminated by the false light of the digital necropolis, sleepwalking across the city of the dead. I'm passing cute cat videos, bunnies, tits and violence, wild Karens, lol cows, video games and whatever this might be. Just another guy with an opinion, I suppose, like that flat earther over there and his takes on the great mud flood of 1834. Or like that twitchy car mechanic lamenting the apparent decline of German engineering and the economics of BMW maintenance. Meanwhile, a cold wind carries echoes of a bygone era. Somewhere, Vladimir Putin is singing Blueberry Hill with that Russian accent of his, being carried by a bunch of musical mercenaries. There's also another, not so wonderful singer raw-dogging Let the Eagles Soar into a distant microphone. I salute the American flag and I keep walking. Some graves seem more busy than others. Visitors put down flowers, more malicious ones spit, cuss and curse, or just radiate schadenfreude. Then there's those who seemingly have gone numb, or limp I guess, like those aging sex pests, peeping toms, journalists and other perverts, pervading a kind of erectile dysfunction of the soul. Fellow travelers of sorts, roaming the digital wasteland, stroking their flaccid ding-dongs in the face of overstimulation, or occasionally pressing themselves against a bedroom window, contemplating that which they have lost. Either or, the uncomfortable truth remains. Nothing lasts forever, including the internet, not infamy nor admiration. Even black holes evaporate, eventually, like old memories. That said, we got used to being bombarded with a never-ending cascade of addictive hormones, burning through our brain chemistry one click at a time, but no high lasts forever. I believe one day the Silicon Valley Blitz will grind to a halt, like all the other megalomaniacal attempts to micromanage the human condition. For the time being, though, Earth will keep spinning, and the tide comes in, the tide goes out, always. Coincidentally, the difference between being on top of the world and down on your luck is just half a turn of the wheel. Presumably, not even the technological singularity will break the cycle. So in the long run, the only real constant is change. By the way, notice that confused technocrat wearing colorful suspenders and a bad toupee? He's standing in front of a corporate salad bar and looks kind of lost, like a whimsical arts and crafts teacher who has been microdosing peyote since the early 90s. That bald head of his is filled with futuristic dreams about the coming of the machine god and reuniting with his dead father, reanimated by the singularity convergent cosmogenesis or whatever Terence McKenna used to talk about. I'm not even pretending to understand, but I'm somewhat able to empathize with what I imagine to be a sentimental unwillingness to let go of an idealized past, maybe even one that never existed in the first place, but should have been. This seems infinitely preferable to whatever delusions of grandeur are driving those other sweaty techno-weenies. The type that's actually fantasizing about their own apotheosis, attaining godhood and the restructuring of creation itself, Lord of the Rings style. Maybe there's arguments for that Luciferian defiance against the perceived tyranny of thermodynamics, like Dylan Thomas, raging against the dying of the light, both figuratively and literally, blind eyes blazing like meteors and being gay or such, but then in non-idealized reality, some of those fierce tears seemingly just boil down to body dysmorphia, abusing Botox and turning yourself into one of the Bogdanov twins. Or a tightly packed Vienna sausage that's about to burst up there on those sad heights of the plutocratic kleptocracy. Who knows? Mayhaps their quest for immortality might succeed after all, and the universe will be permeated by a billion rockets, self-replicating forever, seeding even the most remote exoplanet with the clones of some HGH-infused oligarch, the perfect Homo economicus, enlightened by his own rational self-interest, now handing out limited-time subscription offers to what seems like a tribe of sentient jungle squids. Confusion sets in, then anger. A free-streaming tablet shatters and one of the clones gets clubbed to death with a blunt object. And so it goes. A doomed guerrilla lawfare campaign kicks off and lasts generations, but ultimately, the last elder of the cephalopod Luddites is caught off guard and doesn't read the fine print before putting his signature underneath a mean-spirited cease and desist, cleverly disguised as a parcel delivery, token of an absent neighbor. The conflict ends and the movie rights are given to Cyber James Cameron. Then, the surface of the Holy Moon is turned into a projection screen showcasing the cinematic teaser trailer, as the moon slowly rises like Saturn in the quiet Earth. Admittedly, part of me realizes most of this ramble sounds like word salad, failing to articulate abstract sentiments or like I'm engaging in some sort of Faustian bargain or whatever, calling upon something I won't be able to get rid of. So what's the point? I figure there might be some strange comfort to be found in the realization of impermanence, like fully grasping the transient nature of both the internal and external, or rather making peace with, well, mortality. All your worries, your guilt, your grief, your anger, your ambitions or lack of, ultimately relativized to be forgotten. A fresh start, forever. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not arguing for lethargy, dementia or the passive acceptance of whatever is worth raging against, but if given the choice, I'd rather pass through the gates of forgetfulness and re-emerge somewhere else, far away, on the other side of time and space, at least compared to the prospect of, I guess, conscious infinity. But that's just me talking. I figure nobody really knows what they're going to do, up until the point where the consequences of your actions become actual, tangible. Hell, I might change my mind in a few sentences. Be that as it may, there seems to be a fine line between passion and obsession, like overstaying your welcome or clinging to something that can't be held, perverting natural instincts beyond their organic conclusion, like someone who keeps eating despite feeling full. And I figure that boundless hunger is part of what has been driving us insane. Makes me think of that Buddhist concept of the hell of hungry ghosts, big bellies and very thin, long necks, and all that. The bottom line is this. If life was a play, there would be a perfect moment to kindly leave the stage, ideally before the rotten tomatoes come flying. So maybe appreciate those fleeting moments for what they actually are, transient. Preferably with a smile. Say your lines, listen, mind your marks. Realize you're just a man. You're mortal. And honestly, life could be worse. So, that's it. Maybe tell me what you think or whatever. I feel like taking a piss and rewatching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or something. Hang in there, buddy.